Alright, well, welcome to Unit 1A, Mission 3, Level 3. So today we will discuss adding integers. And our learning target will be I can add integers and absolute value. All practice assignments will be adding integers. Day 1 worksheet and practice A worksheet will be as a day 2, which means you have to complete 2 assignments in order to accomplish this mission. So adding integers. When we're adding integers, numbers with the same signs, like two negatives or two positives, we always add the number and we keep a sign. So again, same signs numbers, two negatives or two positives, we add the actual numbers and then we keep the sign. That is rule number 1. Rule number 2. If we have integers with different signs, for example, positive 5 and negative 3, those are two numbers that have one positive and one negative sign. In this case, you subtract the numbers, the actual numbers, and then you keep the sign of the highest number. So if I have 5 and negative 3, and I subtract 5 and 3, the difference between 5 and 3 will be 2. But then 5 is the largest number that has a positive sign, so the answer will be positive. Alright, seeing those rules, keep them in mind and let's do some examples and we'll figure out how to get the answers. So, let's take a look of that. This example corresponds to very first rule. Same signs, we have two positive numbers, we add the numbers, 6 and 9 are 15, and we keep the sign. Both are positive, so we have positive answer. If we have two negatives, again, we add 6 and 9, we get 15. And then, because they both are negatives, we also have a negative answer, or negative sign as an answer. And here's the second rule with the different sign. One number is a negative, one is positive. So step 1, find the difference between those two numbers. Subtract those. 12 minus 3 is 9. Then look at the numbers. Which one is bigger? 12 is bigger than 3. 12 have a negative sign in front, so we write negative sign here to finish the answer. If I have another example with positive and negative, find the difference between those two numbers. So 10 minus 5 is 5. But if you look at both numbers, 10 and 5, 10 is larger number. 10 has a positive sign. So if we don't have a plus sign in front of the number, that means we have a positive number. So if the largest number is positive, then our answer stays positive. So always think about those rules. If you learn only those two rules and those two steps, you will do just fine solving integers. So let's go ahead and work on examples. I have 6 plus negative 7. One positive, one negative, which means I have to find the difference between those two. So 7 minus 6 is 1. 7 is the larger number. It has negative sign, which means my answer is also negative. Negative 4 plus 2. Same thing. Both numbers have a different sign, so we have to subtract those two. 4 minus 2 is 2. Larger number has a negative sign, so my answer has a negative sign. Negative 1 plus 1. What's the difference between 1 minus 1? Is 0. Do we put negative sign in front of 0? No, we don't. 0 is 0. 0 can't be negative or positive. 0 is always 0. With the next example, we have 10 plus negative 5. One positive, one negative, so we have to subtract those. 10 minus 5 is 5. The largest number here is positive, so the answer stays positive. This example, we have negative 5 plus negative 8. Addition of two negative numbers. So in this case, when we are having the same sign, we're using first rule. We're going to add the numbers and keep the sign. So 5 and 8 is 13. because they both are negatives, we keep the sign. Negative 13 will be the answer. Negative 7 plus negative 7, same thing. Both have negative signs, so we're going to add those two numbers. 7 and 7 is 14. And I'm going to keep the negative sign. Very similar to if you have 2 plus 2. I'm sorry. 2 plus 2. So what do? We add the number, we get 4. They both are positive. You keep 4 as a positive. So there you go. Another example of same sign. Alright, well, take a moment, pause the video, finish your notes, and when you're ready, you can follow me with the next example. So for this one, I would really like you to try those on your own. My camera can't fix now. Hold on for a second. Okay, so try those on your own. I have quite a few examples for you, and I would like you to pause the video, copy all the problems down, try it on your own, and then play the video and see if you can get the right answer, if you match your answer with mine. So go ahead and pause the video. Come back when you're done with all the examples. This should be equal sign then here. Alright, go ahead. Okay, well, welcome back. Let's check your answers now. 2 plus negative 11 will be negative 9. Negative 9 plus 2 is negative 7. Negative 1 plus 0 is negative 1. 12 plus negative 6 is positive 6. Negative 5 plus negative 3 will be negative 8. Negative 1 plus negative 11 will be negative 12. 4 minus negative 3. In this case, we always combine those two. So the answer is 7. 4 plus 3 will give us 7. In the next example, negative 2 minus negative 5, again we have two signs to combine here, two signs, so we get negative 2 plus 5, which is equal to positive 3. And that will be the final answer. Alright, well, I'm hoping you guys are doing well so far, and if not, we will have more examples in the classroom to continue our practice and learning process. The last example is a word problem. So some of you probably will think, oh my gosh, do I have to write this whole thing down? And I will say you don't have to write down every single word, but I will be happy if you write down the information because you need to know what the problem is about. So, Jack's Bakery keeps track of each day's income and expenses. The sum of all the transactions for the day was $295. What amount should have been recorded for the wedding cake? So we have total. We know the total amount is $295. This is a total amount. I'm gonna just write here total. Alright, so now we want to see what amount should have been recorded for the wedding cake. If the sum of all transactions was 295 and they paid some dollar amounts for donuts, so this will be minus, because when you pay somebody you take money away, so it will be minus 125. We have minus $79 because you paid to your employee for the service, and then we need to find out what the wedding cake price was. So what we're gonna do, actually, we will get the total amount of $295 and we will subtract each one of those. So first we will subtract 125 and then we will subtract 79. And whatever is left, that will be the price of the wedding cake. So let's subtract those two first. 295 minus 125. So that will give us 174. Then We will bring this down minus 79 because we want to pay to the employee now. So 174, what is left, minus $79 will give us 16 minus 9 here, we will get 95. $95 left. So what that means is if you end up with $95, those are the money you paid for the wedding cake. $95. And if you want to check your work, make sure that is correct, you can always add all of those expenses. 125 plus 95 plus 79 should make total of $295. Alright, well, thank you for watching the video and we'll discuss your questions in the class.